Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Coffee Review. I'm Jason Artley, joined here with, as always, with Michael Achave, and we're back from Autodesk University, and we're here to talk about all sorts of things. But first, how's it going today, Michael?
Good. Excited to be back. It was an epic event. We taught 2 classes, met a lot of you all from MCR. I think this was your first event in a while that wasn't Bluebeam driven, where you had met a lot of our folks from MCR, even at an Autodesk event, which is amazing. How did you feel, or what was the impact felt from MCR attendees in person?
You know, at first it was a little overwhelming, and I think I told you this too, because it's just like, hey, I know you from the thing, and I'm like, I know you from the thing because I recognize the name, and I don't see their faces, so I don't really know. But it was pretty cool, and getting to meet Ed Lowe, who's been MCR regular since the start. Some of the other folks that had come up to chat and see both of us at the booth at the same time was pretty cool. But first I was a little overwhelmed. I was a little peopled out, but overall, in hindsight, it was a really kind of a special thing, and I feel kind of smitten about it. But it was cool. But I definitely have a list of folks that I wish I would have seen. There was other folks in the Autodesk realm that I was like, oh, I plan to go see him and her and all these other stuff, and I didn't do that. But it was good to be back at AU, my first one in 5 years.
It's been a while.
All the other conferences going on, I can't go to them all.
You can't go to the mall, and you changed positions, right? I think that's a big announcement as well. You went to a couple different roles, and now you're in a director role. Played a lot of impact. But yeah, I'm super excited. It was great meeting all of you again in person. Some of you even attended our class, Matt and I's class. Truly appreciate every single one of you, as always, attending these, meeting us in person, and just having that in-depth conversation and moving things forward in the industry and being open about products and software stacks and workflows, especially workflows, and challenges that you're all having. So as always, we appreciate every single one of you that tune into these. A couple of updates. When we were there, projects came live. That's what we're going to be talking about today within Cloud. But I think before we even get into that, let's talk a little bit about AU for those folks that didn't attend AU, since we all use Autodesk products.
For the most part.
For the most part, right? Yeah, I guess maybe I shouldn't just jump to that conclusion, but I would say predominantly most of us did. So AI was announced, and I think AI was announced last year too, and it was a big storm. But for our industry, specifically the AECO industry, it was announced that the learning models would be released. And those learning models are going to learn from Docs. So Docs is going to be the centralized database for all the learning models to learn from our data that lives in there. So that was one of the big announcements. The other big announcements from an AI, which would be searching through your spec docs within Autodesk Docs as well. So if you're loading your spec docs into the ACC platform and in Docs, you can now search through those spec docs. Bernini, I can't, Matt said it really better than.
I think it's Bernini.
Is it? So I was right.
Bernini, I think it's, yeah. They didn't shop that word around.
Yeah, they did not. That AI is released. That was more from the manufacturing side, but it's pretty cool for like concepts and creating forms. Matt had a great idea about maybe, some furniture ideas and some items in that nature of creating concepts. That was more of a form creation where you can do prompt inputs to create it. Again, AI right now in its I don't know, I was going to say like
infancy
toddler
stage,
is more input based, right? So you're inputting data or inputting text prompts for it to create something. Right now, again, for our industry, it's so infant that it needs to learn. So where they're going to be gathering data from Docs. That was kind of the big announcement. The other thing was integration between Esri and
Autodesk
Docs.
is getting much stronger.
Yes, there was a lot of play with that. So Esri with Forma in Docs so that you can start your prelim design from an SD phase before Civil gets team's information. So that was pretty cool. That's going to be coming out. There was also the integration between Twinmotion and Revit for assets. So that was another thing as well. So let's say a tree is a tree in Revit, but you want to tie it to a specific asset that's already created in the asset library within Twinmotion. Instead of having to replace it, you can tie those assets together. That was pretty cool. So even though typically Twinmotion is one way when you update, it doesn't re-update your model like Inkscape would, right? You would be live updates, which I found out the other day that some people update their model in Inkscape, which is pretty. I don't want to. It's just it's a workflow, I guess. You wouldn't traditionally want to do that, but it's understandable if you want to be in that type of visual design. But that was another announcement. What else? There was one more that I was going to think of. Do you remember?
Honestly, you listed more than I came away from. Like I didn't. The AI was the big one. The Esri Autodesk partnership getting stronger. That one was sort of expected. Bernini, but I didn't hear anything for Civil. Some of you Civil folks on here, if you saw anything, put it in the chat. But
there was like Waterworks or something like that, right? That was a new thing. Advanced Steel will be rolling more into, for all of us structural folks, into Revit. So the full package of Advanced Steel will be in Revit in the next coming years of all of its capabilities. So that's one too.
I take it back. I did hear about some Civil enhancements to Docs. So now when you are, and I haven't tested this yet, but if you're looking at a file, let's say that has a corridor in it in Docs, there should be more information that you can gather from it. So I need to get in there and test today. But still, I think the overall theme was improvement, right? And if it's AI or otherwise, and I think AI will tie into our conversation today about Bluebeam. Autodesk is wanting everybody to put their stuff into their cloud. I get emails telling me, hey, these are the most used Civil 3D commands that you used last week, right? So it knows what buttons I'm clicking in the software, and it knows where I'm storing my drawings, and it can start. That's how that machine learning is going to happen. Same thing with Bluebeam, maybe, right? It knows my login. It's probably tracking what I'm clicking on and what tools I use most frequently. And if all of my files are up on Studio, I would, if I were a software person, I'd want to know who's using my stuff that way, right? But it seems kind of creepy. But I think overall it's for the greater good. And I will use air quotes with that because I remember reading something from the Autodesk CEO saying that, in 10 years, we're not going to have the graphics. We're not going to have the designers. They're hard to find anymore, right? So if we can get the software to do the work of 5 people instead of 1 person, it's going to help fix that workforce gap. However, that workforce gap is going to put some people out of work, or it's going to make the software 5 times more expensive. Who knows?
Yeah, I think maybe I'm naive. My hope is, and they did mention replacing the work shortages, and I think a lot of automation will supplement a lot of that. And that's just kind of where we're at in the industry. We have a shortage, and we have technology now implemented to replace that. I would hope that currently in the industry it's more automation to start and not so much replacement. But again, if there's a gap and it needs to be filled, they're going to fill it. And technology, I feel like at the point in evolution that we're at, will fill majority of things that are not being fulfilled by someone. As of right now, what AI is more prompt. So a lot of people, if you wanted to get into the game of AI, just being prompt inputters and understanding how AI works and how you can be a better prompt inputter to give it data, right? Because we have to indicate where it goes or what it does and what it outputs. But that's it. What else?
That's a whole science on its own.
Yeah,
it's tricky. But what they showed was with that Bernini draw a chair, And it's like, okay, and it drew the chair. Now there's Google's got Gemini or whomever where you can go in and say, you know, make me a picture of a unicorn riding a tricycle, and it will do that. And then you say, no, I want a blue tricycle, and it will do that. Same thing, but that's a 2D image. Where we're talking a 3D object, where draw me a chair, a three-legged stool, you know, you start to get more detailed. Make it out of plastic. No, not that type of plastic. Use HDPE or whatever. You know, there's so many different ways that you can prompt it to get what you want. And of course, the AI learning module is like, what's this idiot typing today? And, you know, and starting to figure that out. But it's pretty cool. I think overall, I'm not scared of the big corporate monster robot coming to take our job, but I think it'd be interesting in 3 to 5 years where I can open up Civil 3D and say, hey, draw me a road with a 12-foot lane, a 6-foot vertical curb, 8-foot green space, and a 6-foot sidewalk. And it'll just do that. You know, now I have to manually place those pieces. It will know, like, oh, you want a 12-foot lane? I want to go grab that assembly or subassembly and drop that over here. Like, I think that's where it could potentially go. And what would take me 5 minutes will take me 20 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, I was using, Rob was saying that it's more than just text input. Yeah, I was using the analogy of like, I could take this image of this and ask it to like make it, enhance it in a specific way or something like that, which is pretty cool. So it's exciting. I mean, to me, this is the internet of our age being released, right? So it's exciting to see where it's going. You know, it's not going away.
Right.
I don't want to say it, but hopefully we can all embrace it in a collective way, but mold it to what we think is going, hopefully, because, you know, I don't want to get tinfoil hat, but hopefully we can mold it into helping us. Oh, what happened? That was weird.
That was weird. Yeah. Huh.
I think that was both of us. Look at that. We're back though. I guess we shouldn't tinfoil hat that. We'll move on. So
yeah, they're looking at us, but
yeah, they're looking at us.
I like that. There's that meme though. Like, I don't want AI to do my spreadsheets and write emails. I want AI to do my dishes and my laundry. And like, yeah, that's what I want. I hate doing dishes. I hate doing laundry, but you know, I'll tolerate spreadsheets.
Yeah, automation. I was thinking that too when we were going, like, talking about our class and automation. I actually brought it up in our class about mowing my lawn and getting it ready for winter rye, right? Automating, creating things that are more efficient workflows. And maybe at some point we do our AU class on here. It'll be different because Autodesk owns our class, right? So if you're listening in from Autodesk, we're not doing the exact same one. It'd be different. But yeah. So with that, Projects was announced. I haven't got into it. Let's talk about that. I don't think there's anything else from AU. There was some, I guess the other one was Forma has carbon emission now, prelim. So that's the other one that I can think of. Model data APIs are active also in ACC. So I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I missed anything. For those of you that were there, if you have anything to add, there was Power BI, which ironically I thought of you, Doug, when that came up. Power BI integration is better now for dashboards in your data access for ACC as well. So everything mostly around ACC, the cloud.
Yeah. AI, you know, all the buzzwords that have been there for a while, but actually starting to see some more movement.
Yeah, and announcements that they're kind of more clarity that they are investing in it and what it looks like. But it's so infant in our industry because there's not a lot of people developing AI tools in our industry that also have the knowledge of our industry.
Right. And our industry is talking about all sorts of things. And today we're going to get back into Bluebeam and talk about what's new over there, because talking about investments in software and things like that, you know, with review being a subscription thing now, everybody's like, well, what's new?
And what is new, Artley?
There's a new button over there.
So I haven't clicked into here. I'm interested to see what this will look like. My main thing before we jump in is I want to know when projects was being launched into here, what is that going to mean for web-based document management? Primarily was my thought, because we can mark up in sessions, so we know that will be active. Maybe, I would hope, but can I do document management in the cloud? Was my secondary question.
So, to give a little background, this was released last Monday or Tuesday. This is the first time Michael's clicking into this.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's in Bluebeam Cloud, currently has Studio Sessions, which came out, a month ago?
Oh, yeah, a while ago. Yeah.
Projects is brand new. Let's go see what's capable there, and then we'll do a little back and forth with the desktop product as well.
Yeah, and just so we're all aware, sessions and projects cloud in general is only accessible by having a license of Review 21 and above. Do I want to click this? Hopefully I don't have projects that are, yeah, we'll just go in. So from here, what we're able to go through and do, yeah, maybe I shouldn't, hold on.
Let me go.
Can you go into yours? I don't know.
All my stuff is so old.
Okay.
Just click on the MCR 2024.
Let's go into one. I don't want to just be on here. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So on your drop page, you have all of your projects that you've created or been invited into, and then you can click into one. So I've clicked into one from here, but basically this, you can't access this. This is a zip file. But can you access it when you're in there?
In review,
I should open up both. Okay.
Yeah, in review, it works fine.
Okay, so let's go into ARC folders, design files. There is a PDF in here. You can't access CSV files, Revit files. So this would be something I would want to be able to do if I'm in a web browser. That would be cool if you could. It would act almost as if docs. Like, could I open this in its right click and like open in native product? I don't know. So we'll click into here. Sorry.
Right now we have a proper AB versus docs and ACC. Now, ACC would be able to open up that CSV file and that Revit file. And it is kind of hard to see if you're watching this on a small format. It is very, very grayed out. But you can see those two files at the bottom there that are not accessible. Where in docs, both of those you'd be able to see.
Yep. So if I go back into here and click this PDF open, my question was, can I do document management in here? And all you can do right now is see the markups that have been made. I can not, because you have to check it out. I forgot, but you can't check it out. Can I? Revision history and download, and that's it.
Right. There's no checkout. There's no markups.
Because it's locked here. I can't unlock it. Yeah.
The one thing that I was sort of just jump into it. The one thing that really bummed me out about this was that I can't find a way to invite somebody to my session or to my project.
Yeah.
That was part of the thing, was that when Bluebeam Cloud allowed sessions and projects, you would be able to have anybody interact with you that didn't have a Review 21 license. They just had to have a Bluebeam ID, which you see here on the screen. Don't have an account, you sign up. Just as you got to sign up for damn near everything anymore. Go in there and get your Bluebeam ID. Then you can log into Bluebeam Cloud, and if you're invited, it should allow you to participate and do stuff.
So I can't even. So I went into this dashboard that I created, and you can't even.
I was wondering if you were going to do this because I went into a dashboard yesterday too. I was like,
it still works. Hold on.
It doesn't work. It works with other parts in the PDF as far as like the bookmarks and the jump to, but it doesn't work with like an external link. So if your training outlines went to a different project, it's not going to work. Or the ATG website wouldn't work.
It won't let me click. Yeah, it won't. let me click the phone, but I can go home and I can click that. So this kind of works. Let me go to the Bluebeam one.
Why is it asking you to sign in?
This is the desktop app. I don't know why it prompted me to sign in. Maybe because I traveled. I don't know.
Could be.
One second. I'm just grabbing another one. I just don't want to show all my projects. So one second.
Yeah. One thing I want to test while we have this live is, since we both have the same studio project, I want to upload a file to two projects and see if it shows up quickly on your side.
So maybe that one's broken. Where's this one?
I feel like my desktop is starting to get out of control.
And, mine is already out of control. Let's see.
It happens.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, that one was the main one for Bluebeam, and that one didn't work. So I guess back to just that ATG office, because is this it? Yeah, I think this is the one from Bluebeam. So like this fly out, drop out, which is a PDF in a PDF, mixed with a clickable button with the JavaScript window that turns this on and off as a layer, doesn't work here. So that's a bummer. But you can come into here. I can go into, we'll go to this, we'll go to wall sections, and it doesn't let me click open that subfolder. So it only lets me click open these top ones that are not in a subfolder in projects. That's unfortunate. So it won't bring up that UI folder. So there's still some work that needs to be done, because this would typically bring up a secondary folder. Like if I go into review, I'll show you what this does in review. So when I click on drawings and then I click on those RFIs, great. I always wondered, so do you think they do these dots so if someone's like, there's some type of malware, it's automatically shadowing things?
Could be.
So that it can't watch you like screen capture? Someone's going to say yes. Okay, so when I go into here, I can click this and it brings open this. So that doesn't work in here.
Right. And we do have a episode coming up. I got all the topics filled out for the rest of the year, where we're going to revisit dashboards, and maybe we'll see if we can make a dashboard that works here. But any existing dashboards you have, consider them dead.
Yeah, because see, it's not letting me access this open folder that goes to this. And that's what that jump folder, this link here, goes to that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Yeah, it should have. So this should have gone to that RFIs opens as a hyperlink, but it won't. If I go back to here, go back to here, it won't.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like, you'd figure that as a URL, it should stay consistent. It should know.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not jumping to it. It doesn't make sense. It won't click to it for some reason. Yeah, weird. So really, it's just a viewer.
Yeah. Now, I would imagine in time it will get more powerful.
Yeah, just like sessions. But my hope would be document management. So I guess they started it. And this is where I was with sessions, where I wish it would be more powerful. So I agree.
So let's talk about that. What sort of document management would you want Cloud to do for you?
Everything, because it's supposed to be Bluebeam Anywhere. This solution is supposed to be Bluebeam Anywhere, unlocked by your desktop application. I'm going to go on my phone right now and look at what it looks like. So I would want it to do everything that my desktop application can do. Oh, come
Now,
on.
I haven't tried. Can you drag a file in there? There's no
Um,
upload button. There's no share button. There's not even the 9-digit Bluebeam ID. I guess there it is. It's in the URL.
no, this just opened it up as a file explorer. That's weird.
Gross. So
There's no drag and drop. Yeah.
let's try something. Go to hide your little thing again and go to the AT or the MCR 2024 project.
Yep.
Go to Civil and go to Design Files. Okay, now stay there because I'm going to upload a file. I'm going to put a file in here. It's uploading. Does it show? It's uploaded. So.
And I'm gonna log out on my phone. I need to log in as the Joe demo. But yeah, I'm here. So.
Because what we want to see is, how real time is it? Because we did it in the sessions, and sessions was pretty darn close. Half a second to show those updates. But will projects automatically populate, or are you going to have to refresh?
I don't know.
I'm thinking you're going to have to refresh because that file is in there.
Did you already upload it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me do my password. I'm trying to log into Joe.
Keeps the same folder, checks your login. And there it is, a civil site plan. Okay, so you did have to refresh to see the new file that I had added.
Yes. So this only lets me go into sessions. I can't go back to the home screen on my phone. It pushes me directly into sessions, maybe because it's a free user.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign out of this one and then exit out of this one. It may sign me out of this thing, but that's fine. But let me sign into my work account and see if it works for projects yet.
So your free account did not work with projects is what you're saying on the phone?
Correct. It just showed me, it bumped me straight into sessions. It wouldn't let me go to like my documents, which it has on the phone for the paid for application. It bumped me straight into sessions and what sessions I was invited to. Same thing on the side of paid for app. It just shows these live in here sessions. It won't. There's no my documents either on the paid for app. Like I can't go anywhere but sessions. It just bumps me straight to the sessions. So I wonder if they barred everyone access to it. That's unfortunate. So let me log out. So sessions is only live on the mobile device right now.
Okay. Interesting.
Going back to here. So
it's a cool picture.
Yeah. Bumps me back to sign in, re-authenticate. And I'll pull this over here. Nope, it bumps you straight to sessions. But yeah, so basically sessions is here. And then you have my workspace, but on your phone, it just bumps you straight into sessions. It doesn't give you the option to go to any of these three. Be aware my workspace is anything that you want to personally upload, or things that have been shared from another person's workspace. And here you can actually mark up, but you can't in projects or sessions. You can in sessions, but not projects. So projects is limited to just viewing right now, and no document management. And Jason, your question was, well, what would you like to do? Well, Bluebeam's note is anywhere access. So is that anywhere access just to anywhere? Bluebeam anywhere, not access anywhere. Bluebeam anywhere. So my question would be, when are we going to get document management tools to delete pages, insert pages, those types of things was my answer to you.
So looking at the official Bluebeam release notes. So October 14th, last Monday, studio projects are now on the web. Access Studio projects directly from the Bluebeam web platform. Key features include Access Studio projects through a web browser, PDF support only, sort projects by name, ID, or date created, check out or check in a file using the lock icon. We'll have to test that. Add, remove, or edit markups in the web editor. Update markup statuses with color-coded text. View and add comments to markups. View previous versions of your files, which you showed earlier. Click on hyperlinks to navigate to other project files. Asterisk on that one. Download or latest or previous versions. We saw that one. Import from DMS in web sessions. So create sessions from using files from a DMS provider, including SharePoint, OneDrive, Google Drive, Box, Dropbox, and Ignite. And that's available in all regions.
So I went to one that I have more permissions for. Okay. So this automatically checked it out. So I can check in. That's where we were going wrong.
Okay.
So I can check in edits without saving. And I can check back out. So it was a permissions thing. So if I click this, I can check back out. I can mark up.
Oh, okay.
So that's good that I went and checked that. So basically it was just a permission settings, and you still have statuses. So I just went to one. Wait, yeah, this isn't a project. So I just went to one that is mine that I own. That has all of the stuff that I have. It's just an old demo one, as you can tell. It's very old. But if you just go to here, it automatically checked it out because I think I have it checked out on my desktop app. And you can check it in here. So there's revision history too, MCR update. Oh, you can open an older revision in here. That's cool.
And I like that it gives you that big old fat warning.
And you can't say go away. There's no checkbox. We'll go back. Ooh, that's weird that it makes you go all the way back. I would want it to go back to the main PDF. So you can mark up tool sets. Still limited. Yep. But no document management. So yes, you can mark up. Confirmed. Good on reading those release notes because I wouldn't have.
Yeah, so
the one that I had.
It doesn't say anything about adding or removing files, right? You're just accessing them. So again, it still wants, review 21. It's not going to give you all the power. It still wants review 21 for your main squeeze. Cloud is just your mobile companion.
But you can set scale in here now. That's predefined though.
Okay. No calibration.
Yeah, no calibration. Ooh, area measurements in here now, Doug.
Wasn't that there before? It's got that.
Maybe I just didn't see it. Yeah, maybe I just never saw it before. My eyes are better some days and they're worse the other days.
Me too. And that little triangle gets me every time.
Yeah, just make it more. Just make it darker. Come on, no one's gonna be upset.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's area measurement. I don't know if this was there before.
I don't remember.
So that's cool. You can take an area measurement quickly.
Now that we're gonna go off the rails a little bit. Does your area measurement, if you want to move the text inside of it, does that still respond to the shift key?
No.
So there's no way to fine tune text location?
Not here, but I would assume you just be in the desktop app, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always that thing where I would say that, but then I think about it and people ask me, your field people aren't going to want to go to the desktop because they're in the field. But again, you can't access projects in the field yet because it's not on the mobile device, which anything that typically happens in here does flow over to the mobile device. So we'll see.
Oh, goody.
But hey, at least it does work from that perspective. Statuses still does work after it's checked out. You can leave a comment. You can see details.
If you leave a comment, does it put that little comment marker on it?
I don't know if it does in the web. Yeah, not in the web.
Markup is locked, even though you just made it. Anyway.
It says hi.
Okay.
It's defaulting to the snapshot that it's locked.
Now maybe it's just my eyes, but I see the black lines have like a reddish tinge to them.
Yeah,
it's an overlaid file.
Yeah, it's an overlay. So that's what's locked. So I'm assuming snapshot isn't enabled in here. Well, it's not. Okay. Not assuming it isn't. And you can't do anything with it. So that's why it's saying it's locked.
Because normally this file would have a profile on the left side of it on our demo file.
Check in without saving, or well, why would I want to do that? I'm checking it in with saving, right? Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me go to that one. Demo, share, exit out of this, exit out of that.
So we've established that we have no document management capability inside of Bluebeam Cloud. We have document access capability, and we have document interaction capability.
Yes. So now I have there. Oh, and you see the reply.
Okay.
But I can check it back out here. But you see that markup that it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And now when it's checked in, I can download it. So if I wanted to, I can download it local from that device.
Nice.
So yes, that works. So you can mark up after you check it out, which it's probably all the same markups that you'll have in sessions. Statuses do work. No document management, and maybe that's the whole ethos of it. You're not going to be able to ever do document management, but maybe it's just markups anywhere.
But going back to my release notes, you can copy and paste a markup for Studio Session and projects. And you can download Studio Session files with permission. Now, if I go to the release notes for, they're up there, Android, there was something new on October 1st, work with sessions offline. Okay. And then for iOS, there was nothing new since September 3rd. Okay.
But it says copy markups.
Copy paste markups in the web. Oh boy.
Copy.
Save the tool chest. That's cool.
And grouping. So if I select this and shift, you can group in here.
I don't remember seeing that before.
Nope. So shift. What about on your phone? And they said that in a session.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to sign in. It's going to kick me out. I'll test
to know, it. Can you place a field dimension yet? Like a length measurement? Yeah, we can do that. Area, we can do that.
What do you mean a field dimension?
Like a dimension where you just go point to point and say, hey, make this 8 feet.
Oh.
See it, Brian? No, looks like they don't have that capability. Can you edit the text?
Like a dimension that you manually put in? Is that what you're asking, Doug?
So if you put in a dimension that says, 8 feet, can you double click on the text to make it say, make this something else?
No, that's
the
a dimension
sin
thing.
Of AutoCAD.
No, that's a dimension. That's a dimension markup. A measurement. Yeah, these are just measurements. So there is no. There's call out, which a cloud. There's highlighter, but there's no dimension tool in here. Do I have any in my markups?
There's also no dark mode.
I
I don't know about you all, but I'm kind of addicted to dark mode. If you haven't done the
don't know
update to
about you all.
21.3,
I haven't updated. Hey, my windows work, so that's cool.
that's neat. Chris wants to know if the markups are snapping.
No, this measurement wasn't snapping.
And
I'm
I feel like that'd
eyeballing
be
it.
important.
And it's not, I can't hold shift to orthogonal positioning.
Mm. Again, you're getting the basics. If you want more, you got to go to the real deal desktop.
Yeah. In the future, anywhere, I hope it is anywhere, doing everything that you can on the desktop application. But I mean, come on, we're leaps and bounds from where we were before, so I can't complain. But if you wanted to, you can have a bunch of PDFs that aren't in the session that are check in, check out via a web browser as of right now, which hopefully everything pushes over into the app as they're figuring out probably the UI, I would assume, because if it all works in here, they just need to figure out how the UI works. That was a question from somebody that asked me when I was doing a demo. This interface also looked complex, which to me, it looks actually reduced, but there was that comment. So yes, the app is a app formatted for using on your phone. Very, very simplistic and very easy, intuitive to use. So yes.
But I still see like the iPad Surface people just eating this up. It's just too
100%.
much on the phone.
Yeah. I still see people using that until it's fully complete, but at some point people are just going to be using their phones, to be honest. I would think. If I was out in the field, I mean, I got a Max, so I don't know what people have for like phone space. I would want to be using it on my phone if I'm walking the field. I wouldn't want a tablet. But maybe people are used to it, so I guess they may not want to change. But even on the iPad, it pushes you into sessions. So you can't use Safari. It pushes you into Cloud app.
Yep.
I don't know about Surface Pro. Probably doesn't because the desktop application's on that. So thoughts?
Well, my train of thought got derailed because you were talking about your Max phone, and I went from a Max down to a regular Pro, and I kind of regret it.
Yes.
A little bit. Just because my eyes are getting worse,
You can make bigger text, but yeah, I don't know if I talked to you about it, but I don't know what's up with my eyes. Maybe it's because I'm staring at a screen all day and I think everything's fine. But when we were at AU, I could barely see text from far away. I was like, whoa,
yeah,
this is not good.
Yeah, and I did the laser thing, and they're like, you're of a certain age, you're still gonna need reading glasses. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then, yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, I have a degenerative eye disease. If people didn't know, keratoconus. If you want to look it up, you can look at it. And yeah, it's getting worse. It's great. Love life with my eyes.
Just keep staring at screens. That's guaranteed to make it better, I'm sure.
Always going to make it better by staring at screens. But I think that's the issue too, right? Your eyes become so well adjusted to this view that I'm looking now. That's why they say people get eye strain and you should look away every so often to readjust your eyes for distance, but I never did. And I think it's one of those things where, when I used to ride bikes, everyone's like, your knees are going to be bad. I'm like, yeah, they are bad now. But when I was younger, I said I didn't care.
Riding bikes fixed my knees.
I'm saying like dropping ledges, BMX riding. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's high impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is great. So you do have the ability to check out. So we uncovered that. Sorry if you watched very at the beginning where we were disappointed. I just didn't have permissions and I didn't think about that at the beginning. So remember permission settings for projects. I'm going to see if you can go in and do permission settings while you're in here, which I would assume you can't. But
no.
Yeah, there's no accessible rights like in your projects to change those while you're in it. So you have to have these permissions set up prior to inviting people, but once you're in it, you can see everything that's in it. So if you wanted to click into there, that's the options too. Only PDFs. So if I were to click into my videos, there would be no videos access as noted in the release notes. Which I guess we should have read I should have read the release notes first, so that way I would have been more prepared. But we all learned together, and this was all new, so it was good.
It was more fun to start there and figure it out first, because
and be
not many
disappointed.
people read the release notes. Yeah.
Yeah. So to everyone ever seeing something new, read the release notes. That way you can not have to stumble like we did. So.
Now, when you hovered over that triangle on the bottom, it said create scale. I thought I saw it say set scale earlier. Is it always create scale?
I don't remember.
If you click on the 3 line things, that one, yeah. Okay, it's just a pull down. Okay.
Yeah.
Still no calibration. That's going to be.
And they did decimals. I mean, I know decimal conversion, but maybe some people aren't used to
decimals.
Used to fraction.
They're good for you.
Yeah, they are good for you.
Come join us over on the civil side where there's fractionless worlds.
So when I did started in architectural design first, it was hard for me when I went to mechanical design for fabrication for custom windows and doors, and I was always having to use a calculator. And then we would print out a sheet. Yes, we printed it out back then. And you would have that decimal conversion, so you quickly look, but then you start memorizing it. So I memorized these from a decimal perspective, because we'd convert it also from imperial to metric, because we were using metric for the floor folks. So then you'd have to know metric as well. But yeah, anyway, sorry, deviation.
No, but I totally had that same chart on my cubicle wall when I was drafting and design, like, 0.375 equals, Yeah.
And then you would cut them down by the next decimal inch, right? Yeah.
Okay. Chris gave us something to test here. Can you set the scale in the desktop, and will it push to the web? So I think we'll want to try this both ways. Right?
Yes, it already did, because this one didn't have a set scale, so you can see. The other one did have a set scale. So this is asking me, what is that scale?
So if you set that scale here, check it back in. When you go to the desktop version, that same scale will be set. I see you typing, Tom. What's on your mind? Where are you? Okay.
So I need to refresh this. So everyone that didn't know, there's a refresh button here. Syncing just caches it local, just so you're all aware.
Magical.
Yep, scale's here.
Okay. So yeah, that works.
And I guess I could check it out.
Okay. So this is where administration is going to get even more important, right? And what I mean by that is like Bluebeam Studio Prime. Because if you're an employee and you get fired, they take away your computer, they take away your Bluebeam license, but they don't take away your Bluebeam ID, right? Join me on this little tinfoil hat adventure. If I'm a disgruntled employee, I can still log into Bluebeam Cloud and jack up with your projects, and you would never know it.
First off, you were a bad hire if you did that.
I know, but still, people worry
and
about
karma's coming your way for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, going back down, I just had to get those 2 cents in there. You're good.
Yeah, I mean, karma is a thing for sure. This is more of a security issue than it was a week ago, right? I can't upload, I can't download, or I can download, but I can't. But I could go in there and mess up scales. I could go do things with just my Bluebeam ID, which is a free thing. So for those users wanting to get into this, and I always recommend if you're an admin for Bluebeam for your organization and you have more than like 10 licenses and people are using Studio, get Prime. It's worth the money. It's a lot of money, but it's worth the money. For instances like this, where somebody leaves, I can reassign that project to somebody who's still employed.
Yeah, they're I think this was also an issue with sessions as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing is that you would want SSO, so it automatically terms that access right. But if you have SSO, you can't have Prime, so you can't kick people out.
Well, and you can't have SSO unless you have 100 people. So if you've got 30, 40 people, you have no SSO. You have to and you still can't control other people's Bluebeam IDs.
Yep. So it is truly the wild, wild west. You would have to make sure your IT team is removing licenses after a term or someone departs. Yes. Because they still have access to everything in there.
Right. So when I was managing our licenses here at ATG, when folks would depart, I would go in there and deactivate their license, but that doesn't deactivate their Bluebeam ID. See where I'm getting with that?
Oh. How do you deactivate an ID?
You become an unpaid collaborator.
So how do you deactivate the ID?
I don't know. Well, let me say this. Our portal as platinum partners with Bluebeam is different than the end user, right? So if any one of you at a normal firm have a different administration portal that we can't see, so I don't know if you can do it, but on that side.
But how do you deactivate the ID? Because even in our portal, if we were to dearly depart somebody, you can't deactivate the ID. You can term the license.
Yeah.
Let me go into the portal.
I was just about to do that too.
Okay. Well, you go in since there's a bunch of stuff that
I don't want to show it.
We don't want to show.
I'm going to double check this. Jason could have been just rambling here talking about nonsense. But I'm pretty sure.
Or reset their password. Tom's got a good idea. Yeah, reset your password.
Yeah.
And Chris, yeah, I answered I just went back and forth. So both the new scale was set at 16th of an inch versus the one I had before. So it goes back and forth for set scale. I mean, this is pretty cool. I will say that. I got my hopes up for document management. So that was it. But you could check out. So the keys are being unlocked to access to this, but Jason brought up a really good note that is also opening up liability for folks that are no longer with the org.
Right. So what I see is, like, if I want to go in here and move somebody, I can deactivate them, but it's just their subscription status. It doesn't tell me it's deactivating their Bluebeam ID.
So you would want Prime to kick them out of every single one that they're in.
Yes.
But that would be a lengthy process if they're in a lot.
It would be.
I think. Can you reset their password from there?
No.
No.
You can. I mean, I can go edit user information, and that just changes their name, their status, but not their password. So I have no capability as an admin to change your password. I think that has to be through.
And I'm pretty sure, yeah, you even have to, when you reset your password, you have to have your old password, right? So what if you don't know that employee's old password?
So how are you denying access to sessions for terminated users? Tom, are you doing that with Prime?
That's the only way. I guess you could email Bluebeam support and say you need to deactivate
this
Bluebeam ID.
Can't you restrict from the desktop?
If you are the owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Reset the password, but you can't reset the password from the org site. Maybe you can from your org site.
Tom, I would imagine you guys are on SSO.
So there needs to be a terminating Bluebeam ID.
Yeah.
Which is terminates that and cleans house of that ID. Especially they're going to need that too, because you think about the tool sets. Like if there's organizational tool sets that are soon going to be tied to your Bluebeam ID, people can get access to them via cloud because it'll be pushing bilaterally. So,
in a user group that is okay. Huh. Okay.
All right. Well, Tom has some workarounds here.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben, that's a fine point as well.
I don't know because we have SSO in my right. We have it.
Yes.
And I don't get dual authentication when I log into Bluebeam.
I think we created our Bluebeam IDs and subscriptions before we launched SSO.
Oh, so is that SSO different from the Bluebeam ID?
Yeah.
Is it really?
My Bluebeam password is not my Windows password.
100% same. So is that truly SSO?
We're not.
Well, we're maybe
network admins.
Maybe we have a half SSO because we still need Prime access to show people Prime. Maybe ours is kind of like a half. So, Ben, for yours, do your users have to authenticate twice? Once? I don't know. Yeah.
Get into.
You know what I mean? Because maybe ours is like half because we have Prime access because you can't have SSO with Prime.
Still, right? Still can't have SSO with Prime?
Correct.
That's lame. That's one thing that I think would be helpful.
Yeah, so he says they do have to authenticate, yes. So maybe that would be it. But you would have to have 100 users. What if you don't have 100 users?
Yeah. If you're 85 users and everybody's on studio projects, it's the wild, wild west.
Yeah, well, I know you do, but I'm saying other people. But yeah, so basically, if you have SSO, you're fine because that's they won't be able to authenticate the secondary one, so you're good there. But for those folks that are under 100 users, you would have to do what Tom said, which is forget passwords and reset the password so they can't get in.
Yeah, Bluebeam really needs to lower that threshold for SSO because I know we've had organizations that we work with who are like, hey, I got 95 people. And they're like, nope.
Yep.
It has to be 100.
I think they need to figure out the Prime stuff first, and then they'll allow it. But they should just allow a term of a Bluebeam ID in their portal if you don't have that 100 user SSO, right? Because that is a lot of liability for organizations to allow this data just to be out there and accessible still. But yeah, I mean, that's just my comment. So, well, with that, we are almost at our time here. We had, yeah, that's a transfer, but that's what we were saying with Tom. It's time consuming. What if the person had like 20 or 40 projects that they're in? You'd have to transfer ownership, kick them out, deny access.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
I'm not saying it's not worth it because that's something you do now. Yeah.
I wonder if we'll get to a point where firms have a sole Bluebeam administrator. You know, like sometimes when firms have a bigger IT department, they'll have like, well, this is my Civil 3D administrator. This is my Bentley person. This is my Bluebeam person.
Well, you would want it automated as much as possible. That's why people have SSO. So they're just adding them into one portal.
Very true. Well, interesting discussion today.
Yes.
Thanks everybody for chiming in. Thanks for going on an adventure with us and looking at the new Bluebeam Cloud project capability. Next week we will be back with some Halloween fun with custom markups. So we've got a whole bunch of things coming up. Again, as always, if you've got an idea that you want us to cover, send us a line. We'll put it on our list, and we can always move things around to make sure that we're helping you all get what you need out of Bluebeam.
Yep.
Until then, take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See you all next time.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of the other content on our channel.